She stared straight into my eyes that night, her words a lie. It wasn't just what she said, but how she said it. Her voice catching the brief hesitation, her gaze sliding past mine. I didn't shout, didn't demand answers, didn't plead for honesty. I just turned and left, not out of choice, but because staying meant losing myself to someone who'd already slipped away. I thought that was the end, and for months it was. Then she returned, eyes red, clutching a confession, offering the truth I'd long stopped expecting. It began with distance. Texts left unanswered, vague excuses, plans that fell apart. The woman who once shared her soul with me became a stranger. When I asked if something was wrong, she flashed a smile, too sharp, too fast. "Nothing's wrong, you're just overthinking," she'd say. But my instincts screamed otherwise. I lived in that limbo, torn between doubt and denial, until one night it unraveled. She'd been out, silent all evening, returning late with smudged makeup and a jacket that carried a stranger's scent. "Were you really with your friends?" I asked. She blinked once, smiled, and said, "What, you don't trust me now?" That was the moment. No waver, no crack in her voice, just a lie, smooth and deliberate. Something in me shattered, not loudly but deeply. I didn't argue, didn't break anything. I grabbed my coat and walked out of her life, out of the home we'd made, out of a love that wasn't love without truth. It was survival, and I was done with it. I moved out that week, no messages, no fights, just quiet. I expected her to call, to explain, to try. But there was nothing, and that silence made it easier to believe she'd moved on. So I started to mend, slowly, messily, but genuinely. 10 months later I was finding my laugh again. No longer checking for her name. No longer wondering where she was. Then came a knock late at night, too late for anyone else. I opened the door, and there she stood, worn, weary but raw. Her eyes were swollen, her hands gripping a crumpled envelope. "Can we talk?" "Just a minute," she asked. I let her in, not out of warmth but curiosity. She sat, barely touching the couch, like she might break it. Then she shattered. "I lied," she whispered. I stayed silent, waiting. "I wasn't with my friends that night. I was with him." Her voice broke. "I didn't cross that line, I swear, but I let it go too far. When I saw your face, I panicked. I lied because I was ashamed." She met my eyes at last. "I thought I'd lose you if I told the truth, but I lost you anyway." She handed me the envelope. Inside was a letter written months ago, worn at the edges. "I've tried to send this so many times, but I was too scared," she said. It laid bare everything, how it started, why she strayed, the guilt that ate at her after I left, the silence that broke her more than she'd imagined. I read it, my hands unsteady. She stood to leave. "I don't expect forgiveness," she said. "You deserved the truth, even now." She reached the door and I let her go, almost. But then I spoke. "You're right. You lost me when you lied. But this was honest." She turned, tears falling. "What now?" she whispered. I looked at her, at the woman I'd loved, at this version of her, finally real. "Now we heal, apart or together, we'll see. But no more lies." She nodded, no arguments, no pleas, just a quiet "Thank you." When she left, it didn't cut the same way. To anyone who's been betrayed, sometimes the one you love breaks you in the softest way. Sometimes they come back, not to mend it, but to admit they were broken too. If this resonates, you're not alone. Truth doesn't erase the hurt, but it hands you the power to heal. And that's where peace starts.